Hephaestus was the only god of Olympus rejected at birth. Son of Hera, he came into the world different from the other gods. His body did not reflect the perfection expected on Olympus, and among the gods, that was seen as an unforgivable flaw. Anything that did not represent strength, beauty, or dominance had to be hidden. For that reason, Hephaestus was cast from the heights of Olympus, not as punishment for something he had done, but simply for existing. The fall was long, silent, and without witnesses, an act of absolute rejection, coming from those who should have been his origin. The fall did not kill him, but it separated him forever from the world of the gods. Far from Olympus, Hephaestus found neither comfort nor recognition. He found only the harshness of existence, shaped by stone, fire, and metal. A world where nothing was given. Everything had to be earned. It was in this isolation that he grew. While other gods inherited power, Hephaestus had to learn how to create it. Every strike of the hammer carried frustration, but also learning. Every flame he mastered was a small victory against the destiny imposed upon him. Fire did not destroy him. Fire taught him. Over time, Hephaestus understood something few gods ever did: the power of creation. Not the power to rule, but the power to transform. His forge became more than a place of labor. It became an extension of his own identity. Where there was raw metal, he saw potential. Where there was chaos, he shaped form. Thus, Hephaestus became the greatest craftsman among gods and mortals. He created weapons capable of changing the course of wars. He forged armor destined for heroes who would face monsters and impossible fates. He built palaces, thrones, and mechanisms so complex that even the gods themselves could not fully understand how they worked. Among his most remarkable acts was his role in the birth of Athena. In one of the most well-known versions of the myth, Zeus was struck by unbearable pain after swallowing the goddess Métis, fearing a prophecy that foretold his child would surpass him. The pain grew so intense that no god could ease it. Hephaestus was summoned. With an axe in his hands, he struck Zeus's skull, splitting it open and releasing Athena, who emerged fully grown, armed, and ready for war. Once again, Hephaestus did not create a god, but made a god's birth possible. Even so, his presence was never celebrated. He was necessary, but never desired. When Hephaestus returned to Olympus, he did not return as an equal. He returned as a tool. The gods depended on his creations, but never treated him as one of their own. He sustained Olympus, but did not rule it. He created power, but never wielded it. His own life reflected this contradiction. Married to Aphrodite, the goddess of beauty, Hephaestus lived a relationship marked by imbalance. Aphrodite never loved him in the same way. Her affair with Ares, the god of war, became one of the most infamous episodes on Olympus. When Hephaestus discovered their secret relationship, he did not respond with brute force or direct confrontation. True to what had always defined him, he responded by creating. Hephaestus forged an invisible net, made of metal so fine and unbreakable that no god could escape it. The trap was placed over Aphrodite's bed. When Ares returned to meet her, both were captured. Trapped, exposed, and unable to flee, they became a spectacle before the gods of Olympus. Hephaestus summoned them all to witness the betrayal. But instead of justice, he was met with laughter. His pain became divine entertainment. Even faced with undeniable proof, nothing changed. Aphrodite was freed. Ares walked away untouched. And Hephaestus, once again, remained the god who was necessary but disposable. Hephaestus was also responsible for the creation of Pandora. By Zeus's command, he molded the first woman from clay, shaping her with flawless form. The other gods gifted her beauty, grace, and curiosity. Pandora was created not as a blessing, but as punishment for humanity, a response to Prometheus's defiance. When Pandora opened the jar entrusted to her, she released all evils into the world: pain, disease, suffering, and death. Only hope remained trapped at the bottom. Once again, Hephaestus created something that would alter the fate of all, without ever deciding how his creation would be used. Another myth reinforces this irony. In a failed attempt to approach Athena, Hephaestus was rejected. His seed fell upon the earth, Gaia, who gave birth to Erichthonius, a child with serpentine legs. Athena, though not his biological mother, adopted the child, who would later become one of the legendary kings of Athens. Even in his failures, Hephaestus created consequences that endured. And still, he continued forging. He continued creating. He continued sustaining an Olympus that never truly accepted him. Among gods who symbolized beauty, strength, and dominance, Hephaestus symbolized work, technique, persistence, the kind of power born from effort, not inheritance. A quiet power that demands no worship, yet without which nothing can stand. Perhaps that is why Hephaestus never fully belonged to Olympus, because the gods represent unreachable ideals, and Hephaestus represents what truly holds the world together.